Okay, so 17B. Now assume that the sample standard deviation is S equals 12. So instead of a standard deviation of 4, the standard deviation is 12. So the standard deviation is increased. The mean difference stays at 3, still a two-tailed test with an alpha of 0.05 and 16 participants. So the only thing that's changed between 17A and 17B is the standard deviation. That means that step 1 of the hypothesis testing procedure is the same. Our hypotheses have not changed. Step 2 of the hypothesis testing procedure has not changed. We still have the same number of participants. We still have a two-tailed test. We still have an alpha of 0.05. So our critical values have not changed. What is going to change is our calculation of our test statistic. Because the standard deviation has changed, the estimated standard error is going to change. And that may or may not change our conclusion in step 4. So we're going to jump right to step 3. So we need to calculate our estimated standard error. Now our standard deviation is now 12, and our sample size is still 16. So we get 12 divided by 4. So our estimated standard error has increased to 3. In 17A, when the standard deviation was 4, the estimated standard error was 1. We increased the standard deviation. If you increase the numerator, the top part, you increase the numerator, your answer, if everything else stays the same, your answer is going to get bigger. I'm going to plug that into our t-test. The mean difference is still 3, subtract 0, divided by this new estimated standard error, which is 3, which means our new t-test is 1. If you increase your standard deviation, increase the numerator, you increase your estimated standard error. If you increase your estimated standard error, it's in the denominator. You're dividing by a larger number, you get a smaller answer. So our T obtained was 1. Is now 1. So in step 4, obtained is here, 1. It's now falling in this middle area. So we're going to fail to reject the null. We fail to reject the null. This is our evidence. It's in this middle area. And no, statistically significant difference. Okay. So now I'll pause here before we move into question 17C, which asks us to compare our answers between 17A and 17B.